Hello YouTube, back at it again with another banger video. This time we're taking a look at Chapter 2 of Cosmic Odyssey. And in our first chapter, we learned the plot of the book, we've learned our mission, our stakes, our goals, and our heroes have divided up into teams to take down the different aspects of the anti-life that exists within our dimension. You know, they're trying to destroy these worlds, and our team of heroes are here to stop them. So let's dive into Chapter 2. We see Superman and Orion are in Thanagar. Lightray and Starfire are on Ran. We see Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern are on Xanshi. And Batman and Forager have gone to Earth. They're in Gotham City. So Batman's home turf. The first thing he does, he has to go to a payphone, make a quick phone call. We don't actually learn who he's talking to until Chapter 4. So, but remember that'll come back. So this is a quick reminder that we have 4 planets in our solar system. The Earth, Ran, Thanagar, Xanshi. If any of these 2 planets, or if any 2 of these planets, are destroyed, that'll create a collapse of the universe. The gravitational disturbance will happen, and you know, that collapse will open up a rift in the dimensional barrier, letting anti-life in. So that's what they're trying to stop from happening. And even Darkseid has reason to want to keep this from happening. Jason Blood was also brought in to help, but he's an old man. He's like, why am I here? I can't really do anything. He's actually a backup plan. They have an idea in case the heroes fail. A way of defeating anti-life. And Jason Blood, he's one half of Etrigan, the demon, which is another Jack Kirby character from the 70s. They inhabit the same body, sort of like, you know, Bruce Banner and Hulk. But Jason Blood was separated from the demon, and that's why he's began to age more rapidly. You know, while he was paired with the demon, he's basically immortal. But Darkseid and Highfather are talking to Jason, and they're asking him to pair once again with Etrigan the demon. And he doesn't want to do that. It's torturous, you know, it's terrible, you know, living with a demon inside of you. And he's like, under no circumstances will I ever pair myself up with Etrigan again. And you know, so they have some convincing to do. Back on Thanagar, that is the world where, you know, Hawkman and Hawkgirl are from. Superman and Orion are here to hunt down that aspect. You know, these Thanagarian warriors, they're being mind controlled by this aspect to attack Superman and Orion. The aspect knows that what their mission is to destroy it. So the closer Superman and Orion get to this aspect, the more and more of these guards there will be. Superman is doing his best not to hurt these guys. He knows that they're not really evil. They're just being mind controlled. Orion, you know, he's the god of war. He doesn't really care if they're mind controlled or not. He just loves to fight. He loves to kill. And that's, you know, Darkseid in him. He is Darkseid's son after all. Superman says, let's moderate our use of force against them. And Orion doesn't even respond. He just like looks at him. So you could tell that these guys are not on the same page. Orion, even though he was raised on New Genesis and he is one of the quote-unquote good guys, he's not really a hero. He doesn't have hero morals. He's not Superman. You know, he likes to kill. He likes to fight. So this story does a good job of you know, comparing their ideologies and their characteristics. On Xanshi, the green team, Green Lantern and Martian Manhunter, they find this race of aliens who are stricken with plague. And this is Green Lantern. He surmises that this is an effect of, you know, the aspect living in their world. It's brought this plague upon them. This story, it kind of makes the power ring is super overpowered in this story. So Green Lantern, he meets this scientist guy who's been trying to work on this cure for this plague that they've got going on. Green Lantern uses his ring to chemically alter it so that the cure works. And then he just says, oh yeah, just use this cure on yourself and then give everyone blood transfusions and you'll cure the disease. No problem. So this cure, or this plague, I should say, that's lasted for 1.5 pages, it gets cured in 3 panels. This ring is like super OP. So Green Lantern and Martian Manhunter, they find this computer system and they examine it and realize that one station has been drawing more power than the rest of the planet combined. And it's this weather station in the Arctic. And so they decide that must be where the Aspect is hiding. So they decide to go up there, figure out why it's drawing so much power. We cut to Earth. Forager and Batman are in the Batcave. Batman says, he does his best work at night, and Forager is going to blow his cover if he's dressed in this bright white costume. So he makes Alfred design him a black costume. I have no idea why that's there, why they felt the need to put that into this comic, to redesign Forager's costume. But they do, and it's coming later on. Batman also uses his powers of deduction. He figures out that the Aspect would only really need to come to Earth for one reason. And Forager says, oh, for the atomic weapons. And Batman's like, no, for the computer systems. We're more connected than any other planet. Our computers are more advanced. That's probably what the Aspect has come here to steal. It's after the databases, he says, which is Earth's most valuable resource, I guess. So on Ran, Lightray and Starfire, they're traveling to the city, and Lightray mentions that John Jones has told him of a man who lives here who might help us get a lead on where the Aspect's whereabouts are. They get to the city, and everyone's gone mad. People are just killing each other. They mention that it doesn't seem like it's one side against the other. It's just everyone against each other in like a free-for-all fight. So the Aspect has drove these people mad. There's people jumping off of buildings. This guy, Lightray, catches him, and the guy punches Lightray and falls to his death. They get to this Capitol, this tower in the city. Adam Strange is there. Of course, when you heard the name Ran, you knew that Adam Strange was going to show up in this story. He's here. His friends have gone mad. He had to tie them up to keep them from hurting themselves. And he says that he thinks that he's only immune to this madness because he's not of this planet. He's an Earthling, so he's immune from this madness that's going on from this Aspect. Adam Strange says, from what you've told me about how this being operates on other planets, my educated guess is that we'll find it at Peltex 5. That's a fully automated manufacturing center just outside of Ranagar. No humans work there, only robot maintenance crews. So that's where they head off to. Back on New Genesis. By the way, look at this New Genesis drawing. Do you notice anything weird about it? It's very clearly a McDonald's sign right here. The 2 golden arches and the red going underneath it. I mean, that's a funny little Easter egg, I guess, that they tried to hide in there. We see Jason Blood again. He's arguing with Darkseid and Highfather. Darkseid and Highfather, their plan is that if these heroes do fail and the barrier is destroyed and Anti-Life attempts to make his way into our dimension, they need magic powers to destroy him. And the character who has these magic powers, these mystic powers, would be Etrigan. But he needs to be at full strength, so they need a host body. They need his other half to be there. So Darkseid has this invention that he's going to use, but they need Jason Blood to bond with him. Jason Blood explains what a painful experience it is to live with the devil. And Highfather is able to convince him by saying, well, if you don't do it, it could mean the death of everyone and, the death of the entire galaxy. And at the end, he says, very well, I'll do it. Back on Thanagar, Superman and Orion are fighting off these Thanagarian warriors who are being mind-controlled. So they're fighting these guys off. Superman is trying his best not to hurt any of them permanently, while Orion is just like firing on them and destroying their ships. He could care less if any of them die. And of course, Superman is scolding him for that. Back on Xanshi, this aspect is using the weather machine to keep Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern away. You know, it's stationed in the Arctic, and just everywhere around the Arctic, you know, the weather gets worse and worse as it's trying to push them back. You know, it throws a cyclone at them. It hits one of them with lightning. It hit Martian Manhunter, gets struck by lightning. And so Green Lantern decides to create like a cube around them. It sort of looks like an ice cube, where, you know, they'll be safe from, you know, strikes of lightning and stuff. And they're just going to fly all the way to the Arctic in this cube. Unfortunately, Martian Manhunter was holding the device that captures the aspect, the anti-life catcher. It's been destroyed. Another instance of the power ring being overpowered. Green Lantern's like, oh, don't worry about it. My ring examined the anti-life catcher, and it can duplicate one. No problem. So, like it gets destroyed, and then he just immediately can make them another one. Just very silly. All right, back at the Batcave, Forager is wearing his new black costume. Batman is researching on the computer. He says, I've discovered the anti-life aspect's whereabouts. It wasn't hard. I simply accessed the computer records of the big scientific supply houses, looking for large orders of exotic equipment. Found what I was looking for a little while ago. Several good-sized orders have been shipped out in the last week to Moose Jaw, Arizona, of all places. But the interesting thing is that the receiver of these high-tech goodies is one Joe Bester. Who's he? A Gotham City policeman who died last week. So the guy who disappeared in the beginning of the story, he's the same guy who's ordering this high-tech equipment out in Moose Jaw, Arizona. So Batman's not sure if someone's like stolen his identity or if he's like come back to life somehow. Anyways, they're going to go figure out what that is. Back at Rand, Starfire, and Lightray, and Adam Strange, they're deciding to go check out the loading docks of this place. This robot-run facility that Adam was talking about earlier. This character looks like a cross between the C-3PO and the female robot from Metropolis. If you've ever seen that, that's what that reminds me of. Also reminds me of the character from the cover of some of the heavy metal magazines and the Aerosmith album. I forget who does that artwork, but he draws all these like metallic women. And that's what this reminds me of. Fit right in. So they're at the loading docks. Adam Strange finds this door here, and they open it up, and what do they find? It's a giant bomb inside, a doomsday bomb. So Lightray and Adam Strange and Starfire are there, and they're looking around for this aspect who must be, you know, constructing this bomb. And Adam Strange goes down this corridor, and he just gets messed up like immediately. He looks like he's been run over there. And they travel down this corridor, and it's a dead end. And they're like, well, where did this thing go? How did this aspect get away? And we see a little air vent up in the corner with some ooze coming out of it. We see, the aspect fit through that grate somehow. A little hint. Okay, back on Xanshi, our little green ice cube filled with green men is traveling around, and the lightning has stopped, but underneath them, the ground splits open and fire shoots out like a volcano. It shatters the green cube of safety. Green Lantern tells Martian Manhunter, he's like, oh, don't worry, I commanded the ring to protect both of us just in the nick of time. You know, another instance of the power ring just being too much. You know, then the weather machine, it hurls one of these rocks, one of these fallen rocks at them. Power ring blows it up. He's like, oh, this is no problem for me. One of the Green Lanterns. He's like, I'm better off just going by myself, so I won't have to worry about protecting you. So he puts Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter does not need any help. I mean, he's one of the strongest Justice Leaguers, you know, to exist. He does not need to be put in this bubble and like sent off to safety. But John Stewart, you know, this Green Lantern, he's kind of an arrogant guy, and you know, full of himself, and he's sure that, you know, he'd be better off alone. So he powers up his ring. He heads off to find this aspect of this anti-life. He finds the base where this weather machine is. He goes inside. He says, when my mind is set on something, nothing can stop me. Nothing. And then someone says off panel, well, that's not exactly true now, is it? And we see that this bomb has been painted yellow. Now, yellow is the color of the spectrum that Green Lantern's ring is ineffective on. There was an impurity in the battery on Oa where the Green Lantern rings were created. And because of that impurity, they're ineffective on anything that's the color yellow. Kind of silly. Also, it never explains who this guy is. I suppose that this is just the aspect. You know, the aspect has to take a physical form to build these bombs. So, but this guy, he just looks like a regular guy, like a beard and glasses and kind of silly looking. You know, I don't know why it would choose this guy to look like. I mean, he doesn't look like any of the Zanshis we saw earlier. You know, the people with the plague. And now Green Lantern can't help it. And he realizes that he really did need Martian Manhunter there to help him out. Because this bomb explodes and he's not able to stop it. It blows up and it just sends a shockwave over the whole planet. And here's Martian Manhunter. He's stuck in this orb. He can't do anything. And he just sees this shockwave coming. He can't even brace for it. It hits him. We see people on the other side of the planet. You know, they have no idea what's coming. And it's just a wall of fire that kills them. You know, it affects the entire planet. It's just consumed with fire. And its polarity is reversed. It explains that the anti-life has destroyed the core of this planet. And it sends it out of its gravitational loop and into the star nearest to it. You know, the gravitational pull of the star. It pulls the rest of this planet into it. And it's just consumed, and it explodes, and it's all destroyed, and it's all Green Lantern's fault. And he's feeling guilty, feeling sorry for himself. Martian Manhunter, he flies up to him, and he's just like, see, you did need me. Now all these billions of Zanshi people are dead. You know, we did all this work to cure them of the plague just so you could mess up and kill them with a bomb. So, yeah, Martian Manhunter, he blames him. He says, I'll never forgive you for this. Back on New Genesis, Highfather says, the Zanshi team just radioed in. We've lost both the planet and the star. Darkseid says, then we can no longer wait to implement our backup plan. So they have to get Jason Blood to join back in with Etrigan. You know, they were giving him some time to savor not being linked with the demon. But they're like, okay, the time's now. We can't wait any longer. So they get the demon. He's real weak. He looks like an old man too. They fuse again. And he says, I live. Etrigan the demon, he's back. And that's where we leave off with chapter 2. So that's half the story. We're at the halfway mark. And Etrigan is back. So thanks for sitting in with me. Hope you liked the video. Like, comment, press that subscribe button. And come back for part 3 of this series. Thanks for watching. Bye.